The smell of coffee hits the air, that rich, dark aroma promising the start of the day. You pour your cup. Everything feels right. But then you reach for the refrigerator. Maybe it is the lid on the yogurt. Perhaps it is the jar of jam, sealed tight against the cold, or the dreaded pickled onions your grandchildren love. You grab the glass jar, your fingers clamp down, ready to twist, and then that familiar sharp stiffness rebels. It is not a severe pain, but a tight, frustrating refusal. A tiny resistance deep in the knuckles, telling you, not yet. I am not ready to work. You try again. You shift your grip, trying to catch the thread of the lid just right. You feel that quick, tiny ache travel from your thumb joint right up the wrist. It is infuriating. It feels like a small failure right at the beginning of the morning. That momentary weakness where something so simple, opening a jar, requires a towel, a rubber gripper, or worse, waiting until your spouse wakes up. If this sounds like your 6 a.m. routine, you are absolutely not alone. This daily battle against stiffness is one of the most common issues reported by people over 60. And here is the good news. You do not need powerful medicine. You do not need expensive devices. You only need 30 seconds of targeted movement performed at the precise right time of day. That time is right now, before your coffee goes cold. Welcome. We are talking today about unlocking your hands and banishing that morning stiffness, not just for today, but for good. We are specifically focusing on the most neglected part of morning health, the ritual you perform before you engage in any high-demand activity. Why is the morning always the worst? It is simple biology, and it is usually misunderstood. When you are asleep, your hands and finger joints are resting. They are quiet. Inside every joint is a protective, lubricating substance called synovial fluid. Think of it as the motor oil for your hinges. When you're relaxed for hours, that fluid settles. It becomes slightly thicker, colder, and less mobile. It pools in the lower areas of the joint capsule. When you wake up and demand immediate forceful action, like gripping a coffee mug or twisting a sealed lid, you are trying to run a cold engine without circulating the oil first. The stiffness you feel is not a permanent lack of ability. It is just your body signaling that the lubrication needs to be pumped around the joints slowly and deliberately before the heavy lifting begins. Most people try to fix this after the stiffness sets in. They clench their fists tightly or shake their hands vigorously while walking to the kitchen. That is actually too much, too fast. It irritates the joint capsule and signals pain, making you unconsciously tighten up later. Our goal is different. We are going to gently prime the joints. We are going to take the joints through their full natural range of motion using a specific pattern that encourages the synovial fluid to spread out smoothly. This is why the timing is absolutely everything. Doing this 30-second sequence before your first heavy grip of the day, before you grab the kettle, before you open that challenging jar, and yes, ideally, before the stimulating effects of caffeine tighten your muscles, will make a monumental difference. You're giving your hands a head start. You are lubricating the small bones and tendons while they are still in their most relaxed state. The result is immediate. Hands that feel warmer, fingers that bend fully, and a grip that can handle any resistance the kitchen throws at it. For the next few parts of this video, we are going to break down this simple 30-second routine. It is designed to be done while you are still sitting at the edge of your bed or right after you settle into your favorite morning chair. We are calling this move the wrist and digit awakening. We will focus on two major areas: the gentle warm-up of the wrist hinge and the slow, deliberate movement of the individual digits. Before we start the physical movements in the next section, I want you to prepare yourself. Find a spot where you can sit comfortably with your spine straight. Your feet should be flat on the floor or slightly elevated if you prefer. We will focus only on your hands and wrists, but proper posture is key to allowing blood flow to travel unimpeded down your arms. Do not worry about forcing any movement right now. If your hands feel stiff, only move as far as is comfortable. We are looking for ease, not strain. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and let it out softly through your mouth. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Let your arms hang loosely at your sides or rest gently on your lap. We are beginning the preparation phase. In this first part of the routine, we must ensure the larger structures, the forearms and wrists, are ready to support the work of the tiny hand joints. We are building the foundation. In the next part, we will start the 30-second sequence with step 1, the gentle forearm release. This will target the larger tendons that control your ability to grasp, setting the stage perfectly for the detailed work on your fingers. Get comfortable. We begin the movements now. This is where we turn that morning frustration into freedom. We know the feeling. Those first few moments out of bed, everything feels thick. Your hands are heavy, maybe even tight. Before you even think about the kettle or reaching for the newspaper, we need to focus on what happens inside your joints overnight. Your body is brilliant, but it needs a prompt. When you sleep, your hands and wrists are mostly still. The natural lubricating fluid inside your joints, sometimes called your body's joint oil, settles. It gets cool and thick, almost like old syrup. That thick fluid is why everything feels stiff immediately upon waking. You're not starting the day with pulos, damaged joints. You are simply starting with rested, uncirculated joints. Our 30-second move isn't about building grip strength yet. It's about gently stirring that joint oil. We are sending a wake-up call to the hands, telling them it is time to move the lubrication around the cartilage. Think of it like warming up an engine that has been sitting all night. You don't floor the gas pedal right away. You let it idle and circulate. This is the warm-up phase. We call this sequence the morning mist. You must do this right before that first sip of coffee. If you wait until after, your mind is already engaged in the day's tasks and you will rush it. We need focus for this 30 seconds. Step 1. Find a relaxed posture. You can be sitting at the edge of the bed or standing by the counter, whatever is comfortable. Keep your shoulders loose. Let your arms hang naturally. Step 2. The finger flicker. Do not clench your hands into tight fists. That forceful gripping motion actually compresses the joints further, which is counterproductive right now. We need expansion. Instead, start by opening your hands wide. Stretch the fingers out, feeling the space between each digit. It should not be painful, just a satisfying stretch. Now, slowly curl your fingers inward until the tips just touch the upper part of your palm. Do not fully close the fist. Keep the center of your palm open, like you are gently holding a large, invisible ball. This slow, controlled opening and partial closing is the core movement. We are looking for rhythm, not resistance. Imagine your hands are floating in water. You are gently pushing the water away, then bringing it back. Repeat this smooth, open, and partially closed cycle 10 times. Take a deep breath while you do this. Inhale on the open, exhale on the partial close. Notice how the tendons in the skin feel across your knuckles. They should feel like they are starting to glide. If you hear a little clicking or feel a slight catch, that is just the joint lubricant starting to break up and move. This is okay, provided there is no sharp pain. If you feel pain, immediately reduce the range of motion. Step 3. The wrist wag. After the 10 cycles of the finger flicker, keep your hands open, facing down toward the floor. We are now adding the wrist to the equation. A stiff wrist means a weak grip. When you fight a jar, you need mobility in the wrist to provide leverage. Keeping your arms relaxed, gently drop your hands so your fingers point directly down. Feel a stretch along the top of your forearm. Now, gently raise your hands back up, flexing your wrists so the fingers point toward the ceiling. Feel the stretch across the bottom of your forearm. This is a slow wrist oscillation, moving from full flexion to full extension. Do not rush this. We are looking for a smooth, deep arc of movement. Repeat this wrist wag 10 times. By combining the finger flicker with the wrist wag, we are achieving full circulatory activation in the entire hand and forearm complex. This is crucial for preparing the muscles needed for strong rotation. This 30-second sequence, 10 finger flicks, 10 wrist wags, is your morning gift to yourself. It is non-negotiable. It's easy to dismiss these subtle movements, but remember that stiffness is cumulative. Every morning you skip this warm-up, you are asking your joints to perform heavy tasks like gripping a jar or twisting a bottle cap while they are still locked down. Consistency is how we win back that independence. Now that we have successfully lubricated and warmed the engine, we need to move to the next phase, translating this new mobility into real, usable strength for household tasks. In our next segment, we will explore the specific grip patterns that turn a weak twist into a successful jar-opening torque. We will talk about why traditional gripping methods often fail and how to use leverage and pressure points to open anything, regardless of how tight it feels. We have covered the importance of timing this movement before. The caffeine hits your system, and we warmed up the wrist and tendons in the first two parts. Now, we hit the core of the 30-second routine. This is the move designed specifically to rebuild the grip strength needed to open those stubborn jar lids. This isn't just about general stretching. This is targeted resistance training using only your own muscles. Think about how you usually twist a lid. It requires two kinds of strength, powerful gripping and precise fingertip control. We must train both. Let's start with precision. We call this the countertop tip tap. You need your fingertips to be strong enough to resist slipping on glass or smooth metal. Take your hands, still clean and dry, resting them lightly on the countertop or the kitchen table. Now, lift your thumb only slightly. We are going to make a connection between your thumb pad and each of your 4 fingertips, one by one. Do this slowly. Connect the thumb to the pointer finger. Apply a gentle squeeze, focusing on the very tips. Hold for 2 seconds. Release. Now, connect the thumb to the middle finger. Squeeze gently. Hold for 2 seconds. Release. Move to the ring finger. Connect the thumb. Squeeze. Release. Finally, the pinky finger. Connect the thumb. Squeeze. Release. We are firing up the small intrinsic muscles of the hand. These are often the first to stiffen and weaken as we age. Repeat that sequence on the same hand, but slightly faster this time. Thumb to pointer, middle, ring, pinky. Tap, 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 tap. Do this sequence 3 times on each hand. This takes about 10 seconds total. Why is this so powerful for jars? When you go to twist a lid, if those delicate muscles are weak, your grip becomes imprecise. Your hand slides off. You rely too much on brute force from your arm, which often just tightens the lid further. The countertop tip tap restores that fine calibration. It tells your brain, I am ready to grip something tiny, slippery, and precise. Now we move from precision to power. We need to maximize your full hand capacity. This next move is the full capacity squeeze. This directly translates into jar opening torque. Hold your hands out in front of you. Imagine you are holding a softball or a very large, smooth jar. First, open your hands as wide as you possibly can. Stretch those fingers far apart. Hold for 1 second. Feel the stretch across your palm. Now, clench your hand into a powerful, tight fist. Squeeze down hard. Make sure your thumb tucks securely over your fingers. We are focusing on maximal voluntary contraction. This means squeezing as hard as you can safely manage. Hold that tight squeeze for 3 full seconds. Really focus on the tension building in your forearm and hand. Now, slowly release the fist. Open the hand again, stretching those fingers wide apart. Hold the stretch for 1 second. Repeat the sequence. Wide stretch 1 second, maximal squeeze 3 seconds, slow release. We are looking for 5 repetitions of this full capacity squeeze on each hand. This should take up the next 15 seconds of your routine. It is absolutely crucial that the release is slow. Do not just let go of the tension. Control the movement as your hand opens back up. This controlled opening helps flush the tendons and joints with the necessary synovial fluid we discussed earlier. It is the movement equivalent of applying fresh oil to a rusty hinge. Notice the warmth starting to build in your hands. This is not pain. This is blood flow, activation, and readiness. You have now completed the key structural moves for grip strength. The tip tap gave you precision. The full capacity squeeze gave you power. If you are following along in real time, you are now about 25 seconds into your focused routine. You might be thinking, wait, opening a jar involves my arm too. How does this hand movement affect my forearm and elbow? That's a brilliant question. The truth is, hand strength is only half the battle when dealing with stiff lids. The second half is stability. A jar lid won't budge unless you can generate torque. Torque requires a stable connection between the strength in your hand and the power coming from your elbow and shoulder. If your wrist or forearm muscles are weak or unsteady, that twisting energy leaks out, and the jar stays closed. We cannot stop here. We must link the power we just generated in your hand to the stability in your forearm. This is the final 5 seconds of the essential 30-second morning activation. Let's integrate the forearm. Hold your hand out again, palm facing up. Make a loose but firm fist. Keeping your arm steady and straight, focus only on your wrist. We are going to rotate the fist. Slowly twist your hand inward so your knuckles face toward your body and your palm is now facing the floor. Twist until you feel a gentle stretch in the top of your forearm. Hold for 2 seconds. Now, slowly twist back outward so your palm faces the ceiling again. Twist until you feel a stretch along the bottom of your forearm. Hold for 2 seconds. Inward twist, hold. Outward twist, hold. This deliberate forearm rotation stabilizes the platform upon which your grip operates. It ensures that when you apply force, the lid receives all of that force, not just half of it. That completes the foundational 30-second hand activation move. Done before your coffee is brewed, it sets the stage for a functionally successful day. But there is one critical element we have not addressed yet. We've covered the movements, but we haven't talked about protecting the progress you are making. If you use this move every morning, but then spend the rest of the day relying on bad habits or introducing immediate strain, you risk undoing all the benefits. In the final part of our session, we are going to look at 3 common ergonomic mistakes seniors make throughout the day that sabotage their hand health. These are the hidden pressures that make your hands stiff again by dinner time. Stay with me, because part 4 includes the simple kitchen towel trick that instantly doubles your effective grip force without needing expensive gadgets, and how to avoid the biggest mistake people make when carrying groceries. We are building strength, but we must also build longevity. We are moving now to the final crucial step in our 30-second routine. This move is dedicated entirely to the gripping power itself. This is the direct rehearsal for fighting that stubborn jar lid. Hold your dominant hand out straight again. Now, I want you to make a power fist. Imagine you are holding a small, resilient tennis ball in your palm. Squeeze your fingers into that ball. Make a tight, strong fist. Hold this squeeze for 5 full seconds. Feel the tension radiate from your fingertips down into your forearm. This is not passive. This is active effort. Release slowly. Open your fingers wide until they stretch slightly. We need to repeat this power squeeze 3 times. Squeeze hard. Count slowly to 5. Release wide. One more time. Squeeze, hold. Feel the strength building in the muscles responsible for torque. This specific action floods those gripping tendons with fresh oxygenated blood. It prepares them for the sudden burst of strength needed to break the vacuum seal on any jar. That completes the physical preparation phase. You have successfully moved, warmed, and activated the essential parts of your hand. All of this was accomplished before your coffee machine finished brewing. Let's quickly review the flow so it becomes automatic tomorrow. Start with the finger lifts and spreads. Move immediately into the slow fist closes and opens. Then perform the wrist circles, both directions. And finally, the 3 powerful jar grip squeezes. That is the entire routine. 30 seconds of investment for hours of effortless function. The greatest hurdle now is consistency. Do not think of this as exercise. Think of it as the non-negotiable step 0 of your morning. It is anchored firmly to your coffee ritual. If you skip it, your hands will remind you later in the day. If you perform it, you set yourself up for independence. If you miss a day, do not dwell on it. Simply start again the next morning. Perfection is not the goal here. Persistence is everything. Now, let's talk about supporting your hands from the inside out. Movement warms the joints, but lubrication protects them. The thick, slippery fluid in your joints, the synovial fluid, is highly sensitive to hydration levels. If you start the day dehydrated, that fluid is thicker, making your hands feel gritty and stiffer. So, here is your second vital step before coffee. Drink a small glass of water. Room temperature water is best for gentle internal awakening. This simple act aids in keeping your joint fluid thin and effective. It helps the hands glide rather than grind. Think also about what you are eating to fight inflammation. Inflammation is the silent cause of that deep, nagging stiffness. Consider integrating more healthy fats into your diet. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, salmon, walnuts, flax seeds, act as natural internal joint soothing agents. They don't replace the movement, but they make the movement easier and more comfortable over time. You are creating a complete system: movement from the outside, lubrication, and protection from the inside. This holistic approach is how we ensure those 30 seconds deliver lasting results. Now for the true test later today. When you approach that tightly sealed jar, remember this morning routine. Do not rush to find the rubber gripper or the kitchen towel. Gently grasp the lid with the hands you just awakened. You will feel the enhanced strength. You will notice the lack of resistance in the twist. Your grip will hold firm. This is the reward for your commitment, a small, silent victory over a common daily frustration. You are regaining control over these small but important moments of your day. Remember, that frustration we discussed is unnecessary. We have built a simple, reliable habit to overcome it. Commit to the 30 seconds. Commit to the hydration. Give your hands the respect and the consistent, gentle work they need to serve you well. Keep moving, keep strengthening, and keep enjoying that absolute confidence in your ability to handle anything the kitchen throws at you. We will continue exploring more essential routines to safeguard your mobility and maintain your independence. Until then, make those pre-coffee 30 seconds your powerful daily secret.